Shut up and sit down.
Well, good morning, everybody. I hope you are having a fantastic Friday for, what can be so fantastic in this, 7:45 a.m. It's not like the day has been going that long, but hopefully you are having a great day. I'm starting this day off on a good note. The sun is popping out some. I've got my partner in crime, Dennis, here along with me, wearing his con shirt. Gone!
Do it that way. Live long and prosper. Or, he tasks me. He tasks me.
Yeah, there's only so much I can do with with you wearing that shirt, and I think saying con is about as far as I'll go. So let's not push it there, pal.
Unfortunately, you don't know all the great quotes from that, because that would be a good movie to learn the quotes from.
Let's not push it. Let's talk about what we are here to talk about. And I did a stream. I'm going to pat myself on the back a little bit, Dennis, for the first time.
You mean this morning?
Right, this morning.
First time this morning.
Right.
Because I've noticed you've been doing that a lot lately, and your arms seem to be getting longer. Like Mr. Fantastic, they're stretching.
Well, seriously, though, I did a stream. Look at that. 40% Zed says, and perfect timing again. Thank you. And welcome.
Well, at least we know the notifications are working.
Yeah. I did a stream. I believe it was in the new year. But it was over a month ago, where I was talking about George Perez. And it was after his announcement of his cancer diagnosis and stuff. So I did a stream talking about just George and some of the stuff of his that I like and enjoy. But I did say, I think what would be really cool is if Marvel and DC could get their crap together, stop their bickering, come together, and reprint Justice League Avengers and and put it out and give all the proceeds to George. And I said, I think it'd be really cool too if they took the pencils because he did like 23, 24 pages of pencils for, back in the 80s when they were originally going to do it before the plug got pulled. And I said, it'd be really cool if they took those, because there's high-res scans of them. I mean, I've got JPEGs of all the pencils to that job, and they're high-res enough to where if I wanted, I could print them out and ink some of them. And I said, it'd be really cool if they had, good morning, Pedro Ang. Thank you for joining. I said, it'd be really cool if they had different inkers, ink a page, 24 different inkers, or maybe 12 different inkers, or just one, whatever. Blue line those pages, and they actually printed those as well. And then you could auction off the originals and whatever. Now they're not doing that, but they are. It was announced this week with the Hero Initiative, a great charity to help out creators in need with medical bills or whatever. George is on the founding board of the Hero Initiative. DC and Marvel are coming together, and I'll do that so we can actually see it. And this is the cover, and they're going to reprint the 4 issues. It's like 288 pages. It said they're doing like a 64-page companion supplemental as well, which has like an introduction by Stan Lee that he originally wrote. I believe Kurt Busiek, who wrote the series, is going to be saying some stuff in it. It was vague on what else is going to be in it. I'm kind of hoping they reprint at least the pencils, those 24 pages in it. I think that would be really cool. Shadowhawk Backs, hello.
Welcome.
Good morning. So I thought that'd be really cool too. Now, Dennis, like everything in life, there's always got to be a downside.
Oh, is it like the Schwartz? For every upside, there's a downside?
Yes.
What's the downside, Andy?
The downside is they're only printing 7,000 copies.
For Charlotte or for the country?
Yeah, right. For the world.
Wow.
Yeah. I've read a couple different articles online. This image is actually from let's see what the website. I saw this made EW, Entertainment Week. This is from Polygon. Variety picked it up. Entertainment Weekly picked it up. Obviously, all the comic book news sites did, but they're only doing 7,000 copies. And obviously, that's a bummer because there's inevitably going to be the few people that get the book and probably try to flip it on eBay just to make a profit because it's going to be so in demand. Shit, what's your guess on how many stores there are in the country?
Oh, I bet there's at least 3,500.
Okay, let's go with, I was going to say 25, but we'll go with 35. So if there's 3,500, that's 2 copies per store. Because I would like to think that because this isn't something you order from the Hero Initiative, as far as I know, they're helping facilitate it, and all the proceeds are going to go to George, and George has actually already come out and said that financially he's fine, so he's going to turn around and donate those proceeds back to the Hero Initiative. Did he say the Hero Initiative? Don't quote me on this. It might be a different charity for cancer or something. I want to say he is I want to say he said he's donating it back to the Hero Initiative. I could be wrong. I just know he's donating it to charity because he doesn't need the money. Hey, Dennis, it's your favorite, Mr. Ice. Hello.
Hey, he didn't get me last time.
No.
He got Charlize.
Oh, I know. That was so bad. So anyhow, so George is going to donate it. But, back to the ordering, if there's only 7,000 of them, I think the only fair way to do it, it doesn't matter what size your store is. You should, and let's say out of those 3,500 stores, we do know some stores have multiple locations,
right?
And I'm not even saying that you should count those out of the mix. I just say if there's 3,500 stores, you basically, if the store wants it, find out what stores want it. And if all 3,500 want it, looks like every store is getting 2 copies. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
And then, it's up to the store to figure out, how they want to deal them out, those couple copies out.
Yeah. Or is it going to be first come, first serve? Is it going to be something like, where Midtown and Mile High, they get a ton of copies and then the small ones get nothing? How are they going to do that? Because I'm surprised for them to limit it to 7,000 because this is something you and I have talked about before because Marvel and DC just needed to bury the hatchet. And because, that is a great series. And a lot of times they always put out fun series. Yeah, there you go.
Yep, this is the trade paperback. I actually used to have the 4 issues. I got rid of them. As Dennis knows, I'm a trade type guy. So I've got the trade. I don't regret getting rid of the original 4. They're obviously going to go up in value now. They were already going for not a ton, but obviously more than cover price. I'm sure with this happening, they're going to go up more. They did do Ultimate, Complete, whatever edition that was a box set. And the box set actually had, I think it was oversized, and it obviously had this. I want to say it was hardcover, but I'm not sure because I've never seen it except pictures. And then that came with the supplemental book that actually did reprint all the original pencils to the first one. I saw that going on eBay just a few weeks ago before this was announced for $200 to $300. So I bet that goes up in value. You know, when it comes to the 7,000 copies, like I said, I've read a couple different things. I always, without knowing the full story, I like to always put a positive spin on it, I guess. I don't like to look at them like, oh, they're just doing that to make it go up in value. You know, with the turnaround time, because I think they want to have this out in March or April. So that's pretty quick. You know, 7,000 might be, you know, they might have thrown around other numbers, and maybe 7,000 is all that they can get out. Now,
no, I disagree. I used to work for a printing company, so we did both bindery. We did the binders and the stitchers. So if you stapled them or you hard glued the back. So, I mean, once the book's done and laid out and everything else, I mean, the printing presses and then having them go through the staples, doesn't matter if you're doing 7,000 or 70,000, you know, you're talking a day differential. So the biggest thing is I'm willing to bet they're just doing 7,000 because if they're not taking any money on it, you know, and they're basically just putting it out there and donating all the proceeds, they're going to limit their financial strain to 7,000 copies of production.
God, you would think they would do 10,000 then. I mean, 7 is a weird number. And going back to what you said, say donating the money, and let's say, you know, because I don't know, let's say, and you know, I have experience with printing, of course, with doing comics and stuff. But let's say you're right. Well, then it would almost seem to me to basically, you know, print 20,000 or so. And instead of donating, because like you said, well, they're going to recoup their print costs. Let's be honest. They're not just going to be like, oh yeah, we're printing this out of the goodness of our hearts. Let's get real.
Oh, so you're saying it's not 100. I thought you were saying it was 100% donation.
No, I think, well, no, I said that's what George is doing on the end of Marvel and DC. Right. I'm assuming with Marvel and DC, they'll come together on the print cost, and then anything they make above that, you know, they won't take a profit. They're donating the rest of the proceeds to George. But I don't think, and I wouldn't begrudge them for this. I don't think, I mean, why wouldn't they want to cover their print cost?
I don't know. Sense of altruism, you know, especially for somebody like that. I don't know. I think the big companies like that could do it.
But then here's the other thing. So they're selling it for $29.99, which is a great deal. I think this trade paperback I have, which is just the book, no supplemental, was $20. So, you know, that's not a bad price.
I was going to say the original cover price, weren't they like $4.99, $4.95 or something like that a book at that time?
Yeah.
So that's $5 times 4. That's $20 just for the original comics.
Well, and that's the other thing. If they're only doing 7,000 copies, they could have they could have printed it oversized, not comic book proportions, but bigger. And even not doing that, they could have easily charged $45-$50 because, you know, it's that 64-page supplemental and this, you know, the trade paperback itself. And with 7,000 copies, they could have easily have done that. No problem. $45-$50. I wouldn't be surprised if some stores, and I don't have a problem with this, you know, if you only get like 4 copies at your store, I would get I would do a sign up list, and then I would do a silent auction. But here's the caveat. As the store, you can either donate all the proceeds, because if you do a silent auction and you've got, say, 100 people that want it and you got 5 copies, it's going to go up. You know, I think if somebody does that, you're looking at more than $100 a piece.
I bet so. Yes.
I think the store then at that point should take the extra over the $30 and, you know, donate that to either, you know, anything. They could donate it to a cancer research, because that's what George has. They could donate it back to the Hero Initiative, you know, whatever. But I wouldn't have a problem with, like I said, if the book goes for $100, the store going, all right, I'm going to donate 70 and keep, you know, the actual price point that they paid for it. I mean, they paid less than 29, but you know what I mean. Act like they sold it for the 29. So I think that would be cool. I was excited to try and get one. Of course, there's just in my driving distance, there's 3 stores. So, you know, I'll throw my hat in the ring, and if they do the auction type thing, I'll do my best, but I don't have super deep pockets. So,
yeah, if you guys, if they do, if the local comic shops near you do auction them off, when we get on after it's all said and done, if you guys see what they go for, I'd be curious to know, you know, what they were doing across the country.
Yeah.
I would agree. I bet it goes for at least $100, if not 200.
I think so for sure. I just can't. I mean, it's not, like I said, it's tough because I already have it. So, you know, you go, why would you buy it again? And the answer for me is because I don't have the supplemental, and because it's for a good cause. It's for George. That's why I would buy it again.
Right.
Now, if I never had it, if I didn't have it in any form, it would be cool just to have it as the collectible. But I got to admit, even though I already have it, this is a brand new, this isn't a new piece of art George just did. This is something George did probably for their original that they thought, let's repurpose it for the cover. I'd like to have it for that because I think it looks awesome. Mr. Ice says, I'd like to know your opinion on reboots and its issues in comics. You mean reboots where, like, you know, Marvel has how many Avengers #1s now and how many Captain America's #1s?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll each take that. My first thought is, and I think Dennis will probably share this, you know, when Marvel rebooted everything and dumped the original numbering back in, when did they do that? Let's say early 2000s. I don't know. I was pissed. You know, I was freaking pissed. You know,
well, it would have been what, Heroes Disassembled, Heroes Reborn when they did that, because they had changed it all and restarted over and relaunched them, and then they did it after what, 12 issues of that, and and it's really never stopped.
No, and I was freaking pissed because I'm not like Dennis where I don't have a whole run of like a specific Marvel title or DC title, but Marvel. I do collect stuff, but I can imagine being like Dennis or another buddy of mine with Spider-Man going, man, I'm up to issue 560, 561, 562. And then they pull that crap and go, it's over. We're starting with a new #1, going, what the hell? And then 2 years later or whatever it was, they go, oh, now we're going to do legacy numbering. So now you get #5, but then below it, it's like, no, it's actually 546. And it's like, no, it's not. You screwed the pooch. You totally screwed the pooch. None of that legacy numbering has any bearing on me. I think it's freaking stupid. So that's my opinion. Dennis?
Yeah, I kind of share that. You guys know, being an X-Men fan, God, it's all they do are reboots. I am at my wit's end with it. But you brought up Spider-Man. At least when there was originally Amazing Spider-Man, and it was going up, Then when McFarlane came out, they did Spider-Man. At least it was a separate title. X-Men, you had the Uncanny X-Men. Then Jim Lee came out with that ever incredibly so popular X-Men #1, which was cool. Separate titles. Problem is now we are on volume 5 or 6 now of X-Men. Same thing with, Amazing Spider-Man. Marvel has decided we're not putting out good enough stories, and DC's no better because, they've rebooted their entire universe multiple times. The problem is when you've got Marvel Comics, they come out there and say, look, we're not putting out great stories because that's really not important anymore, but we need to still sell books. So we're going to relaunch issue #1 with 27 new variant covers, and you guys can go buy it, and they get this huge uptick and spike on sales for the issue #1. And then let's say that they sell 200,000 issues of #1. Then #2, they typically sell 100, 120,000. Issue #3, they're down to 80,000. And then you can see a continuous decline. And then it gets to the law of diminishing returns where, it didn't do it. So now we're going to relaunch it again. So we get that big spike up there and then we see it. So they have put us fans on a roller coaster. At least if they would have stuck with the original numbering, and life would be so much easier because I can just say I need issue 553 versus I need volume 3, issue 2, I think it is. And I mean, when you're going out there at the convention, like we're going tomorrow, they'll line them up as Spider-Man, X-Men and stuff. But, at least if it's alphanumeric, you would know if it's a straight numbering. I hate it. It's just a marketing ploy for lazy people in companies. That's my opinion. It's harsh, but they've created, and we're living in the bed that they have made.
Nope, I agree. So I just did a check. Here we go. This is the trade paperback I just showed that I have. This has 1 day left. There are 2 bids. Dude, this is crazy. $153.
Wow.
And it's not, we both know, and you guys do too, when you look at eBay, you have to be careful because, you need to look at what something actually sold for. You can have something on eBay for $1,000, but if it ain't selling, it ain't $1,000. Well, This has 2 bids and it's up to $153. So, that's crazy. And then the other one you might have seen, I pulled up. This is the one I was talking about, the slipcase absolute edition. 5 bids, 5 days to go, $305 so far. And this is the one that I kicked myself for not buying when it came out because, like I said, it has this compendium that reprints the pencils from the original book. Oh, here you go. This back cover. This is what they're using for the new cover. You can see the supplemental opened up, showing some panels and stuff. This is definitely something. If I had $305, and I'm sure it'll go for more than that, this is definitely something I would love to own. Look at that, 75 brand new. That was it.
Wow.
I will add it to my watch list.
You never know. Keep track of that and be curious because, if those are going for that now, that new limited one, I was saying $100 to $200. Maybe it goes for a lot more than that.
I know. That's what I'm talking about, dude. It could really go up. 40% Zed says, I liked what DC did around Death of Superman, where the Superman titles had their numbering, but had a triangle with a seasonal number. So you knew which order. Yeah, that was totally fine.
Yes, that was great. Batman did that too with Nightfall, where they had their regular numbering, and then above it they had in the bat symbol 1, 2, 3, so you knew the order to read them.
Yep. Marcus says, I think Marvel's up to 9 Captain America #1s. Yeah, probably. Oh, and by the way, Marcus, because I know you live in Charlotte, Dennis touched on it. There is a convention in Rock Hill, South Carolina, tomorrow. It's a 1-day show. It's just comics, no toys, nice hotel show. Dennis and I are going to be heading over there to check it out. So if you're available, Marcus, you should head on over. Let's see.
Should be a fun time.
It's reset every year, pretty much. So what is up, Serge? Good morning to you as well. Yeah, so I'll be curious. I mean, man, this thing could go. It'll be curious. It'll be really curious because obviously there's big collectors out there with deep pockets. You know, that's the problem with only doing 7,000. You know, you got normies like Dennis and I that if we wanted it, it's just not going to happen. You know, I can tell you right now that I said before the stream, 50 would probably be the highest I would go. I think 100 would be the highest I would go. Now just looking at eBay and seeing that even the one that I have, which is in great shape, by the way, I think 100 would probably be the max because it's one of those things. I have it. It'd be cool to have, but oh well.
Well, maybe we get lucky. Maybe they'll put out an artist edition or an artisan edition or something at some point.
See, you would think, yeah. I mean, it's just so weird. Even if we went with the theory of 7,000 is all they can get printed by the time they want it out. Okay, say that there's going to be an initial 7,000, and then in 3 months, because they want to have it out so George can see it. That's the thing. It's not for us. They want to make sure George can see it. And George just sent out an update on social media a few days ago where he did admit himself, or he's admitted to a hospice, but it's not for imminent. So it's not like, oh my God, he's in hospice. That means he only has days or weeks. No, it was just to be comfortable and everything. So they want it out so George can see it. I totally respect that, and I love that. But they could say, okay, 7,000 initially, then we're going to put it in diamond and just let it roll.
Yeah. So, and maybe, who knows? Maybe they will surprise us and do something like that, particularly if they get a huge response from it.
Yeah.
Or maybe this was the only way Marvel and DC could do a compromise because they don't like each other. So maybe this is the only way they could say it. Look, we'll just do 7,000, and for whatever reason that makes us both happy.
I guess. I mean, it's a shame they can't get along. But I will say I got this last week. I never even knew this came out. The Marvel art of George Perez. It's a 244-page book. It just focuses on George's career at Marvel from when he first started up into the last stuff he did at Marvel. It's really cool. There's a lot of stuff in here I never knew about, and just some factoids I never knew about. One is, if you've watched recently, I mentioned that I just got all the Inhumans from 1975, 1 through 12, with the help of Dennis. And George drew 5 or 6 of them. And I never knew on the first issue, he drew it in 7 days. He had a week to draw it.
Really?
That is crazy. He was only like 21 when he got it. And he had a week to draw it. I mean, I would have freaked out totally. I don't think I could have drawn a book in a week when I first broke into the business. Captain Marvel is at volume 11, Batman volume 3. Yeah, it's true. Marcus says, I'll try to make it. Yeah, Marcus, you can send me a message on Facebook or Twitter if you need to know the details about it. We're going to hit it right around 10 a.m. when they open because Dennis has a commitment at 1 in the afternoon. So it'd be cool if you could make it and we could actually meet. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it's a good time. It's a purely comic book show, which is great because not that I don't love my toy buddies and stuff like that, but it's a nice show, especially if you want to list. And apparently after our show yesterday, I'm going to be doing another book and record. I said, you want Fantastic Four, $6 Million Man, or Star Trek? They all said Spider-Man. So I am going to hunt for a Spider-Man one tomorrow and see if I can't get my hands on one.
Dennis, I think I have one, and for the low price of $100, I'll sell it to you.
Yep, there's Andy, always making me them Andy deals.
But don't you want to make the fans happy?
Well, yeah, that's why I'm going to a convention tomorrow and buy one for $20.
Oh, but it doesn't have that personal flavor like it would from buying it from me.
That is true. That is true.
So here I want to show because
Teen Titans.
Hyper Kaiju said it. Now I feel like digging out my old Teen Titans. And there's a issue of Teen Titans. It's issue number 24. I love the opening splash page, so I'm gonna show it to you guys. This is the opening splash page from Teen Titans number 24, and I love this. I saw that, and you know, George did when he first went to DC before Teen Titans. He worked on Justice League, and actually, my buddy John Beatty inked some of that stuff. And it was just like, oh my God, look at George drawing Justice League, but it wasn't enough. And then he did Teen Titans, which he created with Marv Wolfman, created some new characters and stuff. And that was awesome. But I still want to see George draw the big guns at DC. And I remember this just going, oh crap, that has like, I love Kurt Swan's Superman because he has that old bulky type build. Jerry Ordway kind of continued with that. John Byrne made him a little bigger. This Superman right here really gives me the feel of like the Christopher Reeve type build. Just love this. Whoever owns this page is a very lucky person.
Yeah.
That I would like to track down and break into their house and steal it, buy it, get it. Love this Superman. Just love this splash page, man. Good comics right here. Just imagine getting this book, open it up, and going kapow in your face. So,
yeah. Well, you know, he also did that really good Astonishing Tales 25. You know, the first appearance of Deathlock. That's George. That was great stuff too. I love that run.
I thought Astonishing Tales. I thought the first Deathlock was Rich Buckler.
I think it's Astonishing Tales 25, right?
I'm gonna look because Rich Buckler
you got me thinking.
Deathlock.
Because it's the one where he's, you know, laid up on the yellow cover.
Oh, I know that, but I was pretty sure that Rich Buckler created Deathlock. Yeah, penciler Rich Buckler.
Oh, I was thinking it was Perez. Wrong again.
Dennis, it's okay, Dennis. You tried.
My bad.
Yeah. You know, Dennis, stick to X-Men, okay? Don't embarrass yourself.
I should.
Oh, look at that. Greetings from Panama. Hello. Thanks for joining. God, I get it. A lot of people are hyped for it, but there's only 7,000 of them, man, so it's going to be hard to get. I love those type of cons too. I still do collect. Oh, come on. You got to go out. You get yourself something from the Silver Age. Make you feel like a kid again. Marcus, that's what we do. That is what we do.
Yeah, I am kind of bummed I got rid of my Teen Titans stuff when I did my DC purge out of anger.
Out of anger. Good
yep.
Lord.
All my Green Lanterns out of anger.
Out of hate and anger.
Yep.
I get it. I might have to. I'm saving this image off. Who knows? Maybe I'll get a wild hair and I'll print this out in blue and ink it myself just so I can have a quote unquote knockoff original.
Oh.
Never know. I say that and then I'll never do it, but you never know. So.
Well, you'll have plenty of time once you're done with First Man.
What are you talking about? Then I got to fulfill. I'm sorry. Then we have to fulfill First Man.
Whoa. I like how I just got navied. Never again volunteer yourself, but you didn't. You volunteered me.
Right. Because, I'll hook you up with, a beer or something. ink that on stream. Maybe I will. Maybe I'll print it out in blue. I got to take all the colors out of it first. And maybe I'll print it out in blue and ink it on a stream. Just, dab at it every here and there. It's pretty simple page to do when you look at it. So maybe I'll do that. I still have to ink. I still have to get around, and maybe on Sunday I'll try doing this. I still have to ink Prime right here on stream. Big old Prime. So, we'll see. We'll see. But that's what I want to talk about today. I just want to touch on it because I was very excited to see DC and Marvel coming together, putting their differences aside like adults, and doing something for George. And like I said, or like George said, even though he doesn't need the money, he is doing the right thing. And instead of saying, you can always use more, and donating it back. How the heck do you take the colors out?
A big eraser.
No, I will show you guys real quick. I don't know if I'm going to be able to take them all out. What's Marcus say? Marcus says George had a backup cartoon in that issue. I'll have to look. I own the book. I just haven't looked at it in a while. But here, I'll show you guys real quick. Because that's a very good scan of the page. So it might not be that hard to take the colors out. So let me show you guys. Share my screen. So this is Photoshop. Obviously, the first thing I would do is basically, let me see what the image size is of this thing. Yeah, so it's not that big, but I'll boost it up some. 200, make it 17. So let me make it 10. All right, that'll get a little more. Honestly, I would select. There's a couple things I try first. First, it's select color range. I select all the black. And then let's see, how do I want to do this? Well, first I'll try this. Then I'll inverse the selection. And let's see what it looks like when I do that. So you can see by doing that, a lot of it dropped out because it wasn't full black and white. So that's not going to work. So let me undo that. So that won't work. So another thing is, I could try brightness contrast. I could brighten it up a lot. No, that's not going to do it. Let's try.
Not going to do it.
Not going to do it. Nope. Change it to grayscale. Really darken up the, let's see. So it could be one of those things where I literally just get it to this, which you can still see. It's not perfect, just black and white. You can still see gray tone, but I could probably take this and slap it to duotone like this. And I could print this out in blue. And actually, hold on. Because my lettering sucks. I would want to take the lettering. I'd want to print the lettering out in black. Yes, George started off as an assistant to Rich Buckler. So that could be where Dennis went wrong.
It could be.
Could be. What's up? Val is in the house. And then let me make sure I copied that. Copy. Image mode. Duotone. image mode, RGB, edit, paste. Now I've got the lettering in black. And then what I would do is I'd go in and I would erase out the black you can see around the word balloons. And then I would print this obviously full color. So the lettering would print black. And then after I ink it, I'd have all the, oh, I forgot to do the logo. I got to do the logo too. But then I would have, I'd have the lettering in black. I would ink it, and then it would look like an original piece of art. So that is what I would do.
Look at that. I feel like you got a show all lined up, Andy.
Yeah. So I'm now going to save this so I can actually work on it later. But yeah, and then I would print it out in blue and slam some ink on it. So there you go. That is how I would do it.
That's cool.
Yeah. See, you learn something new every day. Dennis, that lesson will cost you $10 next time I see you.
How about I just buy you a beer?
Wow.
As
long as it's not one of your shitty beers.
No, it's a malt. I'll get you a malt. How's that?
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah.
I will take you up on that. Get me a malt liquor. Coke 45. Right.
We were going to do that for the Super Bowl, but we didn't want to stop at the store. So now I don't want to say we settled on the Canoe, but I wound up having the Canoe brew.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. And then last but not least, of course, got to pimp out the First Man Volume 2 Learning Curve. Guys, get on it. Got a couple people reserving their copy, backing it last night. I saw after the professional stream, and very thankful for you guys that did that. Thank you so much. So back it now. I'm working on it daily. I'm working on page 49 today. So there you go. Get yourself the book. Get yourself volume 1 and 2. Volume 2 in the black book. Both covers if you're a completist. Get yourself a head sketch. 5 of those are remaining. The fabulous bundle. 11 out of 15 of the single figure commissions are claimed, so you can still get a nice commission. Become a character in the book. That would be awesome. There you go. Give Andy the DNA bump early in the morning. Exactly. I've recently purchased some Marvel Essentials and DC Showcase, and the experience of reading those Silver Age stories in black and white inks is an experience. I agree. I love the Essentials in the Showcase. I was so disappointed when both Marvel and DC discontinued doing those. Fools that they are.
Yeah.
I thought those things were fantastic. Now I don't know DC, but Marvel's doing their Essentials, which is basically the same thing, except it's all in full color. The price point is a lot higher, but you know, it's collecting some good stuff. So that's cool. So anyhow, guys, thank you for joining us.
Tell them what we stayed up to do last night.
We watched the finale. Watched the Peacemaker finale last night. It was fantastic. We'll talk about that at a later stream.
Yep.
Because I do have to get to work. Dennis has to get to business for the day.
I do.
He does. And thank you. And hail Comicsgate. You know it. Thank you guys for joining. We will be back later. I will try to stream maybe over the weekend to do some inking on that Prime, or maybe I'll get that Perez page all set up to go and ink some of that on the stream.
And if we buy anything from the convention, if we buy a bunch, we'll do one for our hashtag Comic Haul.
That's right. So until next time, guys, thank you for joining, and take you out with the brand new First Man 2 trailer. Bye, everybody.
Bye.